Hi there, it's Tamara Hawk with your energy healing downloads. And this week we're using a self-awareness release deck. We don't use this deck very often. It can go pretty deep, but I think it's worth it today. Again, we're going to do 5 cards. Y'all liked the 5 cards last time, so we'll do these spiritual downloads for you. See what the cards are. Okie dokie. So, our first spiritual energy download is physical response. Okay, so this one is kind of related to your stress response. Okay, can relate to, say, fight or flight. Okay, so when we get this physical response in our body, it can be cognitive, right? So think memory, brain fog, things like that. You're just not thinking straight. Another physical, it can be emotional, okay, which would be depression, anxiety, moodiness, being overwhelmed, being angry, things like that. If we get right to the physical, it could go aches and pains, tummy problems, BM problems, things like that. It can get into our behavior, okay? So think your eating habits, your sleeping habits, addiction habits, things like that. So when we do this spiritual download for you, it'll help bring awareness up to what your physical needs are, okay? If you're having a physical or cognitive or stress response, it can help calm down that response, help you get a more clear. Or if you need a physical response to something, it can create that physical response for you. Okay, so our next spiritual download card is ambivalent response. All right, so with this, like, we can quite often have more than one feeling about something, right? Like, I don't know, like you break up with somebody and you're happy to be out of that relationship, but you still miss that person, right? You're having kind of 2 feelings about one situation. Now, reasons this, okay. So even when we look at what we're doing in our own life, and there's so much change going on right now, right? We can know that there's this need for change and be scared of change at the same time, all right? So this download is going to help you with that, okay? Now, sometimes we can have an ambivalent response because we're having this response, but then we feel guilt about it, or shame, or there's something we want to do and we don't feel supported in it. And lots of fear of change, fear of the unknown and whatnot. So when we do this download for you, which they pretty much download as I pull them, but we always give it that little extra boost at the end. Anyway, it will help with that. Now, the next one is patience. And I know a lot of you won't like that. But this download can help you be more patient. So that may be helpful for some of you. When we can cultivate patience within ourselves, it gives us better mental health, right? Think about somebody who's really impatient and they get angry and their blood is boiling and they're stressed out because they're impatient. Think traffic or something like that. So this patience download can actually help, like, with your health and whatnot. when we kind of infuse this energy for you, it may help with a mindfulness practice, because if you have a mindfulness practice, it keeps you where you are right now, okay? And it can get rid of the overwhelm or frustration of whatever is going on, okay? So as much as some of you may not like the patience card, this download will help with that. So our next download is crisis survival, okay? Now, sometimes if there's a crisis going on, we need to kind of just stop, right? So if we use the acronym STOP, it would be like just stop, take a step back from a situation, okay? Observe that situation for what it really is, and then proceed, but mindfully, okay? So mindfulness is yet another theme in this downloads. Okay, so there are times where we could get stuck in crisis mode and everything is a crisis, and then what happens is when we're stuck in that crisis mode, even if something's not a crisis, it feels like a crisis, okay? So this download's going to help just kind of calm down that whole nervous system thing. It may assist you to get in more of a solution-based mindset so that you can, much like with the patients and getting mindful, it can help just figure out next steps and what it is you want to be doing next, all right? And the last card we have is childhood trauma. Now, some of y'all have like really big childhood trauma. Some feel like there's none at all, right? But this sometimes when stuff happens when we're young, it has us almost create like a false self, okay? Like we end up being somebody that we're not, just in order to kind of save our own lives or to fit in, okay? So this download, whether, don't go digging for childhood trauma just because this came up, okay? It's not necessary. This is all about the energy of things and then tips, what you can do, okay, with your mind. But it can help you figure out who you really, really are, okay? Like right at the core. And that's what we need. So many of you are watching this and you came here to help with the transition of the planet to the more heaven on earth and light. So it's helpful if you know who you are, okay? Like when you're operating from your false self, sometimes you're going to victim mode, right? Or you could be passive aggressive, or you could just be passive. So this download is going to help remove the energy of any kind of old childhood stuff or anything that you picked up that your subconscious believed it needed in order to survive or fit in. And fitting in is a big part of our survival, right? Like if we don't fit in and we're shunned, we can't survive without people. Anyway, so this deck and these downloads, truly, I could probably talk for half an hour on them, but I like to try and keep this more brief for you because we can move the energy without the words, right? So, without further ado, we'll just get started on this energy part for you. Okay, so I will say, like I always do, notice what you notice. Notice what might be different for you moving forward. These are your cards. Yeah, leave me a comment. If you're coming back, then hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button so that YouTube shows this to more people. I think the more people that can get some energy healing downloads, the better, don't you? Anyway, what else can I tell you? The next 21 days of energy clearing and healing is coming up on December 1st, and there's an early bird sign-up bonus if you want to scope that out. I will put the link in the comments. Till next time, much love.